I was surrounded by people, but I'd never felt more alone. It's a strange feeling, isn't it? Being in a room that's full of laughter and stories, but feeling like you're watching it all from behind a wall of glass. Completely invisible even when everyone is looking right at you. That night, I was at a party. It was a room filled with friends I've known for years, people who know my name, my history, and my habits. But as the music pulsed and the laughter echoed, I felt a distance growing, a deep, cold disconnection that I couldn't ignore anymore. I made a choice that scared me. I chose to leave. Not because I was angry, but because I needed to find where I actually ended and the noise began. The cold night air was a shock after the warmth of that crowded apartment. As the front door clicked shut, the world became impossibly quiet. I was alone, truly alone for the first time in months. And for a second, it felt like I was disappearing into the shadows of the city. Every step seemed to echo. My phone was in my pocket, a constant weight, a lifeline to the world I just left. But I didn't want to look at it. I wanted to know what happened to my thoughts when there was no one around to influence them. I wanted to see who I was in the silence. There were no frantic texts asking where I'd gone. No missed calls or concerned messages. The world kept spinning without me. And right then, a hard truth settled in. Being around people isn't the same as being connected to them. Connection requires presence, not just proximity. For months, I'd been performing connection. I was playing a part, laughing at jokes that weren't funny and nodding along to hollow conversations. I was so afraid of being lonely that I'd traded my authenticity for a seat at a table where I didn't even feel like I belonged. Psychologists say that loneliness is the emotional gap between the connection you want and the connection you actually have. In that crowd, my gap had become a canyon. I was physically close to everyone, but emotionally miles away from anyone. This shift wasn't because my friends were bad. It was because I was changing. I was outgrowing the version of myself that fit into those spaces. The loneliness I felt in that room was a signal. It was my brain's way of screaming that the life I was living wasn't mine anymore. The first few days of my self-imposed exile were far from romantic. They were awkward. My apartment felt like a box I was rattling around in. I realized how much of my identity was built on external validation. Without it, I felt like a ghost in my own home. The silence I'd craved on that walk home now felt like it was judging me. It forced me to face the thoughts I'd been drowning out with social noise. I'd automatically open social media, looking for a digital window to the world I'd stepped away from. I was looking for a reason to go back. I'd see their smiling faces, and that little voice in my head would whisper that I was a failure, that I couldn't just be normal and enjoy it. It's a powerful whisper. It tells you that your need for depth is a weakness, that your need for solitude is a flaw. Society rewards the popular, it rewards the busy. We're taught that being alone is a problem that needs to be fixed as quickly as possible. But what if it's not? What if choosing to be alone is actually the ultimate admission of self-respect? Choosing your own company over hollow noise. I had to sit with the boredom. I had to sit with the fear. I had to face the parts of me that I'd been neglecting for years. In the silence, my internal landscape started to come into focus. I started noticing my thought patterns and my emotional habits. Being alone forces your attention back onto yourself. It's uncomfortable because you can't run away from who you really are anymore. But that's where the growth happens, in the corners of your mind that you've been too busy to visit, the parts of you waiting to be heard. What if that ache of loneliness isn't a void to fill, but a signal fire trying to get your attention? A call to return to yourself. Instead of fighting the feeling, I just asked it, "What are you trying to tell me?" And for the first time, I actually listened. The answer wasn't a lightning bolt. It was a slow, dawning realization. I was living a life that was designed for others, not for me. The loneliness was just a symptom of that misalignment. Once I understood that, the fear started to transform into a strange kind of peace. I started creating again. Not for likes or for validation, but for the pure joy of the process. The silence became my greatest canvas. Writing, recording, thinking. I was finally reconnecting with the person I had lost in the noise of those crowded rooms. And then slowly, true connection returned. not based on proximity, but on shared experience and genuine understanding. Solitude isn't the absence of connection, it's the foundation of it. It's where you learn who you are so you can actually show up for others. If any of this resonated with you, I'd love for you to share your story. And if you want to join us on this journey of self-discovery, don't forget to ring the bell and subscribe to the channel to never miss a new story. Solitude isn't the end, it's just the beginning. Thank you for walking with me. We're all in this together.